After what feels like weeks and weeks and weeks of bad weather, today we finally have a beautiful day, although a little bit chilly. So I figured there's no better time to head outside and take a look at a brand new scooter. Of course, before we do that, let's go through the unboxing process I actually did a few weeks ago. This is the S5 City-Rover, and inside of the box you're going to find the user manual, the wall charger, the handlebars, the scooter itself, obviously. It said there was supposed to be an Allen wrench, but I did not find one in the packaging. And as far as the assembly process, there's not much. You basically just screw the handlebars on. You're supposed to use the Allen wrench that I don't have to actually tighten them down, but they work just fine the way that they are. Then you unfold it by pulling the handle in the middle and standing it up. Taking a look around the scooter, of course, we'll start at the top where you've got the buttons, the levers, and everything. The power button is on the very front. You just hold that for 2 seconds in order to turn it on. You can see the backlit display shows your speed in kilometers per hour, your distance that you've gone, as well as a battery bar. If you tap the power button again, the headlight and taillight come on. Taking a look at the handlebars, the left-hand side, the lever is the power brake. The right-hand lever is the throttle. The button above the throttle on the right side is the horn, and the button on the left side above the power brake switches your gear and switches the mode. You've got 3 different gears and 2 different mode settings. That's what makes the scooter sort of special and unique in my opinion. It has dual motors, 2 250-watt motors. By default, it starts out with 1 motor in first gear, but you can of course take it up to 3rd gear and both motors running, which has a lot of power and a lot of speed. In terms of the specs of it and what it can do 25 kilometers per hour, which is 15.5 miles per hour, max speed. Although I did find out after the fact there's 1 single wire you can unplug in the handlebar, and I'm not going to show how to do that, but there's a video out there I'll link to. I don't want to show how to do that because that's not really safe, not recommended, but I did go ahead and do it just to try it out. At that point, it's supposed to go up to, I believe, 35 kilometers per hour, which is about 22 miles per hour. They say it has up to a 30 kilometer or 18.6 mile range with a max load of 100 kilograms or 220 pounds. And it can take up to a 25-degree incline hill, which where I live, that's not unheard of, but it means that I shouldn't have any problems getting around on it. And so far, I have not. Of all the scooters that I've tried out, because this one has the 2 motors, this one does not lose all that much speed going uphill. It has a 10,400 milliamp hour battery enclosed in the bottom. It's 36 volts, and as I mentioned, it does have 2 250-watt motors. There is a USB port on it as well. It's only 5 volts at 1 amp, but if you've got your phone with you and you want to be able to charge it on the go, you can definitely take advantage of that big old battery. And there's a little handle on the column itself in case you want to hang grocery bags or something. The one thing design-wise that I'm not a gigantic fan of about this, because it's a relatively small scooter, the handlebars are very close together, which means there's not a place to mount a phone or a camera or anything. Every other scooter that I've ever ridden has had a place that I could actually mount a camera onto it so that I could take you guys along with me on the ride. Or so, of course, I can have my phone along with me with the phone on and like showing me my speed and everything along the way. This doesn't have a place for that. I did also forget to mention the column. The main section there is carbon fiber, and then the deck itself is surrounded in aluminum. So it is very sturdy, very well built, and still decently lightweight. And without any further ado, I think it's time to go ahead and set it up, take it outside, and go for a quick ride. And we're back. As kind of predicted, I wasn't able to actually use my camera while I was on the go. It's a handheld gimbal that I'm gonna be making a video about in the next couple of days, actually. But because there wasn't really a place to mount it onto the scooter, it just vibrated the whole time. So even though it was compensating for the movement of the scooter, it was still vibrating because I was holding it with my hand against the, yeah, let's just say it was not meant to be used that way. But either way, I went out on a ride. It was about 2.5 miles, and during that ride, just rode up hills over to the park. I did have that speed limiter unplugged that I talked about earlier, and boy, that thing goes really fast. And it's still pretty windy out there, so I'm a little bit tussled, but it was a very fun ride. And at the end of 2.5 miles, it said that the battery was down 1 to 2 bars. Like it said it was down 1 bar, and then I pulled it up the driveway into the garage and it said down 2 bars, so it was kind of on the border between 1 and 2 bars out of 5. But again, I was using it going pretty much 30 kilometers an hour the entire time. I saw it go as high as 33 or 34, and I wasn't going downhill. I was kind of going at a gradual uphill and still going that fast, which is just over 20 miles an hour. So to be doing 18 to 20 miles an hour pretty much the entire way, uphill, downhill, and in between, it was very, very impressive. And the fact that it does fold up into a very decently small form factor makes it very portable. The one thing that it's really missing for me is just a place to mount my phone or a camera or something else. And that's not really hardware fixable, and it's not really all that big of a deal for general people that are going to be riding it, people that are not me. But it is definitely a lot of fun. I will put a link to where you can find it down in the video description. The company that sent it out to me is called YJC. I can link you to their website. They say that they're going to be branding it as City-Rover, which is what it says on it, the City-Rover S5. But City-Rover.com, the last time I checked, was not up and available, so I'll go ahead and put a link to that down below as well. But like I said, it wasn't working the last time I checked. And that's probably where I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. I don't have a real long-term review of it, but suffice to say, it has 2 motors, it has lots and lots of power, it can go over 20 miles per hour, it doesn't have a seat, but it does have a little bit of suspension built into it, so I didn't feel like I was being absolutely jarred to death. And there were a lot of bumps, a lot of rocks and everything out there that I hit, and I didn't fall, obviously, so I'm definitely a big fan of it. Let me know what you think of it down in the comment section below, hit the thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe to the channel to get notified when new ones become available, and I'll see you again next time.